Literature is the art of discovering something extraordinary about ordinary people and saying with ordinary words something extraordinary. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to each one of you present here. It is with great honor and joy that I welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of Kensho, the Literature Fest 2025 of St. Aloysius deemed to be University. Today, we embark on a journey where street plays bring stories to life. Murder mysteries challenge our wits. Mock press events test our spontaneity. Quizzes ignite our curiosity. Debates sharpen our intellect. And Shark Tank simulations inspire our entrepreneurial spirit. Welcome to Kensho, where literature transcends the pages and becomes an immersive experience. Prayer is the most powerful element in our lives. And today, as we come together, let our voices raise in song, seeking peace from where we belong. With hearts in tune and spirits bright, may we find strength in this light. May I now request everyone to kindly rise as the university choir leads us into prayer.
We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, I walk in miracles, I live a life of favor. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, I walk in miracles, I live a life of favor. I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, I walk in miracles, I live a life of favor. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, I'm walking in miracles, I live a life of favor. I know who I am. Oh, 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 I know who I am. Oh, 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 I know who I am. Oh, oh, I know who I am. Oh, oh, I know who I am.
Thank you, choir, for your melodious rendition. As we gather to celebrate the myriad expressions of literature, we now turn to a form where words give way to movement and narratives are told through grace and rhythm. Dance is the hidden language of soul, and every step conveys heart's deepest truths. Please join me in welcoming Miss Shravani to the stage for welcome dance.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for. You've been searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. Your fever dream, can't you see, getting closer? Just surrender, cause you feel the feeling taking over. It's fire, it's freedom, it's flooding open. It's a picture in the pulpit and your blind devotion. There's something breaking at the brick of every wall, it's holding on that you know. So tell me, do you wanna go?
Where it's coloring on the color lines, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible goes to
Intoxicating you.
this is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now.
Watching it come true.
It's taking over you. This is the greatest show.
It's everything you ever want. It's everything you ever need. Let's get right from you. To tell me you wanna be.
Where it's covered in all the color lights, where the runaways are running the night. Possible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. Where it's covered in all the color lights, where the runaways are running the night.
Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, we find ourselves immersed in the vibrant atmosphere of Kensho 2025, aptly themed Carnival of Creativity. This festival is not merely an event, but a celebration of the boundless realms that literature unveils to us. Imagine for a moment the countless worlds we have traversed through the pages of books. We have sailed the tumultuous seas of Odysseus, pondered the depths of human nature with Shakespeare, and navigated the intricate social landscapes with Jane Austen. Literature has been our passport to adventures beyond the confines of reality. But what makes literature so enchanting? It is the power of words. Words that can ignite revolutions, mend broken hearts, and inspire generations. They are the threads that weave the fabric of our shared human experience. Here at St. Aloysius, deemed to be university, we take immense pride in fostering a community where such literary passions are kindled and nurtured. Prepare yourself for a day brimming with exciting competitions. Each event is designed to challenge, inspire, and showcase the incredible talents gathered here today. So, let's dive into the carnival with enthusiasm, curiosity, and a spirit of camaraderie. Now, let the festivities begin. To proceed, I now request Mr. Jim George, Staff Coordinator of Kensho, along with Dr. Melissa Govius, the Head of Department of English, to accompany the dignitaries onto the dais. We have with us Ms. Ashwati Ravindran, our Chief Guest, Reverend Father Melvin Pinto, S.J., Rector of St. Aloysius Institutions, Dr. Alvin Desa, Registrar, St. Aloysius College Autonomous, Dr. Ronald Nazareth, Registrar, St. Aloysius deemed to be University, Dr. Charles Furtado, Director, Admin Block, Ms. Lovelyn Pinto, Co-Convener of Kensho, Ms. Rudhya, the Student Coordinator, and Mr. Richard Paul, the Assistant Student Coordinator. A heartfelt welcome lays the foundation for enduring connections. On this special occasion, I invite Mr. Jim George, Assistant Professor, Department of English, as well as the convener of Kensho, to extend his greetings to the gathering.
Let's start off with a quote by Ursula K. Le Guin. The creative adult is a child who survived. Good morning, esteemed guests, revered artists, passionate storytellers, curious minds, and literature lovers. It is with immense joy and enthusiasm that I welcome you all to the Carnival of Creativity at the Kensho Literature Festival, a vibrant celebration of imagination, storytelling, and the boundless power of words, paints, and all that is art. Today, we are honored to have some of the most brilliant minds in literature and art, authors, poets, artists, and visionaries whose presence elevates the festival. Allow me to extend a heartfelt welcome to our respected rector, Reverend Father Melvin J. Pinto S.J., a guiding force in fostering academic excellence and holistic development. I request our registrar of the deemed to be university, St. Aloysius deemed to be university, Dr. Ronald Nasrit, to florally welcome the rector. A radiant welcome to our most illustrious guest of honor, Dr. Ashwati Ravindran, whose scholarly, academic, and artistic seamlessly intertwines to inspire and elevate the literary and creative landscape. I would like to request the Registrar of St. Aloysius College Autonomous, Dr. Alvin Desa, to florally welcome our chief guest. An affectionate welcome to the Registrar of the deemed to be university, Dr. Ronald Nasrit, whose expertise and dedication contribute significantly to the institution's stature and success. A friendly welcome to the Registrar of St. Aloysius College Autonomous, Dr. Alvin Desa, a pillar of administrative excellence, ensuring smooth academic operations and student engagement. A joyful welcome to the Director of the Administrative Block, Dr. Charles V. Furtado, whose steadfast support enables seamless organizational and academic activities. The head of the department, Dr. Melissa Govius, a driving force in shaping the literary minds of today and tomorrow. A wholehearted welcome to you, ma'am. A cordial welcome to the distinguished guest, Dr. Sylvia Rego, Associate Professor of English, whose presence adds meaning to our literary endeavors. Our esteemed faculty members, the mentors who nurture creativity, critical thinking, and scholarly pursuits, warm welcomes to you. The dedicated student coordinators, the dynamic event coordinators, and volunteers who have meticulously planned and organized the celebration of literature, whose passion and hard work have been instrumental in bringing this festival to life. An enthusiastic welcome to all of you. Our honored guests, faculty members, and participants from across colleges and universities who bring diverse perspectives and enrich our literary discussions, a cordial welcome to you all. And finally, to the media partners, our esteemed sponsors and benefactors, and our dear students, the heartbeat of this institution, whose enthusiasm and love for art breathe life into every discussion, performance, and creative endeavor, a hearty welcome to you. Your presence today adds immense value to this festival, and we are deeply grateful to your support and participation. Once again, a warm welcome to you all. I urge you all to immerse yourselves fully in the experience, embrace the new and the unknown, and let this be a space where creativity is not just admired, but actively cultivated. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that warm welcome. A hearty welcome to you too. Now, The moment we've all been eagerly waiting for has finally arrived. I request our chief guest, along with our esteemed dignitaries, to kindly step forward and officially inaugurate Kensho 2025 by leaving your signatures in the Kensho Heirloom Book of History. May I now request Dr. Melissa Govius, Head of Department of English, to introduce our today's distinguished chief guest, Ms. Ashwati Ravindran.
Reverend Father Melvin Pinto, the Pro Chancellor and Rector of St. Aloysius Institutions, Dr. Ashwati Ravindran, distinguished guests on the dais, guests of the dais, students and faculty from the neighboring colleges, faculty members, and my dear students. I would like to begin my introduction to Ashwati, and I shall call her so, since she was an alumni of this college, having done both her bachelor's and her master's, by speaking a little bit about the term Kensho. I think many of you might be curious to know what it means, and roughly translated, Kensho from the Japanese language means to look within. Along with that, in the same lines, to give you a brief class on what our theme means, that is carnival. You may have seen the spectacular display of dance, the spectacle, the greatest showman on earth. But I do not know how many of you know the origins of the term carnival. It actually comes from the medieval times, and Bakhtin discusses this, where the carnival was a time when the medieval peasants would organize shows in order to, well, have a week of fun and frolic and gaiety. Now, you might be aware that the medieval peasant's life was not that easy. But once a year, for a period of a week, they organized this carnival where they would eat, drink, and make merry. One of the most important members of the carnival was the jongleur or the joker. And I think all of you, especially those of you who play cards, know the significance of the joker. The jongleur's job or the joker's job was to make fun. He was not a character of, mockery, but rather he was a character who questioned, well, let us say, the power structures, those in authority, those who tell us what to do and what not to do. I hope you have listened to the prayer song. I know what I am. I know who I am. In a world today that is becoming increasingly fascist, and where we have totalitarian regimes and people who tell us what to do, how to do, and what to think, the literature departments, language departments become all the more significant. We are the department of critical independent thinking. We are a department of independent inquiry. We are a department that should help the world to promote free thought, free speech, and free will. And that is why Kensho, to look within, and the theme carnival becomes so important today. And no other person exhibits this more than our chief guest today, Dr. Ashwati Ravindran. She is a multifaceted personality, a person who I have known for many years, and a person who has not let others define her. Let me briefly introduce her. This is her biodata that she has sent me, and let me just briefly introduce her. Dr. Ashwati Ravindran is an artist, academic, and researcher whose work bridges the worlds of literature, art, and ecology. She holds a PhD and MPhil in English literature from Gandhigram University, Tamil Nadu, and a BA and MA from St. Aloysius Deemtuby University. She is currently an assistant professor at James Deemtuby University, Kochi, specializing in 20th century female Gothic, popular culture, and ecological narratives. She is a dedicated scholar with articles and papers and is currently working on a book project titled Therapeutic Landscapes. She is also an active member of professional academic bodies and also holds a DELF A1 certificate in French and a diploma in aviation, hospitality, and travel management. You see the multifaceted personality. You have seen her paintings out on display. She has a PhD in literature. She has a degree in aviation and travel and tourism. I think we cannot find a better person to inspire us today. As an artist, Dr. Ashwati paints evocative treescapes, forestscapes, and tonalistic landscapes, capturing the mystique of dark forest and interplay of light and shadow. She works primarily with oil and acrylics, and she makes use of dark muted tones to evoke an atmospheric and mediative mood. Her work has been exhibited in prestigious galleries across India and UA, with notable selections in Kerala Lalita Kala Academy in the 51st and 52nd state exhibitions. She also conducts art workshops, and she loves to explore the intersections of literature, nature, aesthetics, evoking a sense of tranquility while reimagining the sublime beauty of untamed landscapes. I hope we can take inspiration from Dr. Ashwati's untamed landscapes and maybe make vows to become one soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a great Ken show.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, we have the pleasure of hearing from Miss Ashwati Ravindran herself. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, a warm good morning to everyone over here. Dear all the dignitaries, all the students, all the faculty members, I'm sort of overwhelmed with a lot of emotions right now. That's why I have this kind of script in my hand. I knew like I'll be overwhelmed with a ton of emotions when I'm here back in Aloysius. And it's always a pleasure to be over here in Aloysius. So I was just telling Melissa ma'am before a few minutes that seeing all this dance and seeing all the preparations, I feel like being a student over here once again. Now, seeing all this excitement over here, it just transports me back to more than 10 years ago when I was a student over here. At that particular time, me and my classmates, we had also organized a similar literature fest. And if I remember correctly, it was called as Inquest back then. So we had also gone through all the excitement, all the fun, all the arguments, the fights, the chaos that goes in preparation behind putting up such a fest. So I was talking to all my classmates after coming to Mangalore yesterday. So it's kind of the whole flashback memories, all those things are kind of brimming my mind right now. And truly I am overwhelmed, and especially being here as a chief guest, it's sort of a whole humbling, exhilarating, as well as, I don't know what to say, it's like such an exhilarating experience. So first, let me take a moment to thank all my teachers, all the faculty members who taught me over here, because the foundations that I got from here, that is something that I carry even now. It's something very precious, and my teachers, even though I was a very laid-back student, they have never kind of, just ignored, or they have always supported, and they have always motivated me. And that's something that is still kind of inspiring me even today as a teacher. So I kind of try to be like them. And while coming here, I was continuously thinking about what to speak to all of you. And as I said, like I'm sort of completely overwhelmed with emotions, and I didn't want to make a fool of myself. That's why I just jotted down some points that I could speak to all of you. And I thought that I'll share my experience as an academician and as an artist. I'll share with you all my journey. Okay, so and the things that I have learned from my experience. Now, I'll be very honest. I was never a very studious student. I used to bunk a lot of classes, especially during my graduation days over here. And in order to make up for my attendance, I used to, participate in a lot of cultural programs and so on. But slowly, my orientation towards academics started changing when I joined MA English over here in St. Aloysius. It was from there that my life started changing. I started focusing more on the classes. Though, I was never studious, I never prepared much for the exams, but still, I enjoyed listening to the lectures. I enjoyed having discussions with my faculty members, and I also obsessively read books. Library was basically my second home over here. I was slightly an introvert student, and I used to be obsessively reading books. Now, academics is definitely important. There is no doubt about that. The knowledge that you all gain from here, the critical ability that you develop from here, and the discipline that you cultivate in all these years, it's going to be there with you in your lifetime. There is no doubt about that. I still carry all those values with me even now, even today. But today I would like to talk to you about something more apart from your academics. That is the pursuit of a passion beyond your marks, beyond your academics, a hobby that could bring you joy.
Okay, now when I was a student over here, literature was my world. I was fascinated by the stories, especially by the science fiction stories, by the fantasy novels, by the gothic novels. I was obsessively taking books from the library and reading them, sometimes even during the class hours, and many of my faculty members have confiscated my novels for reading them during their class hours. So I was so obsessively, reading them, and I was constantly, I told you I was introvert. So I was constantly engulfed by the magical landscapes and by the magical world that these stories used to depict. But painting was something that I never imagined, that I never thought that I will ever do. That thought even doesn't exist in my mind at that particular time. I never thought I could paint. I never realized that talent in me. Okay, so I started painting much later during my PhD days, when I was around 27 or 28 years old. It started as a mere time pass to take my stress away during my research time. So I just started as a time pass, but eventually it became a serious hobby. And currently, it is a profession that I take along with my academics. Now, being a very introvert person, as I told you, I never used to showcase my works to the outside world. I never used to show it to anybody. I was basically afraid of criticism. I was basically afraid of judgment, that people might say that, okay, your work is not good, you are not talented. So I was constantly afraid of these kind of judgmental remarks. Hence, I never used to show my works to anybody. But eventually, my family and my friends noticed that I was constantly sitting in a corner and I was kind of, either scribbling or I was sketching. And they happened to see my works and they kind of pressurized and they forced me to showcase my works in the social media platforms. And eventually, even though I was very reluctant at first, I eventually ended up posting some of my painting images in the social media platforms. And surprisingly, I got a lot of encouragement from many random people who never even spoke to me. So I got such encouraging remarks, and basically I was seeking for self-validation at that particular point of time. I never had confidence in my own talent. So I was just seeking the praises. I was looking after for self-validation. So eventually, I started painting more. I started drawing more. I started spending some dedicated time pursuing my artistic journey, and hence kind of I developed my talent. And now looking back, I kind of realized that my interest in art was subconsciously nurtured by the literature class that I attended over here, and also by the books that I obsessively read in the library and during the class hours. Now yesterday I was speaking to Melissa ma'am during dinner. I met her. So I still remember her class on modernism, where she spoke about avant-garde and where she took us through various radical art movements. Now, without even realizing at that particular time, that class had sparked something in me. I still remember, because I still remember the lecture notes that I had taken during that class. It's been more than 10 years. And I still remember all those details that I had noted down in that lecture note. So you can imagine the impact of that particular class that had in my life. It basically introduced me to a world of artistic expression, which years later has become a very integral part of my life. Now, at least some of you might wonder why I'm telling you all this. The reason I'm sharing all these details with you is that because I wish that all the students sitting over here, I wish that at least you all could find that one thing that can make you, feel alive. It doesn't have to be painting. It can be any form of art. It could be music. It could be dance. It could be, learning some instrument. It could be baking. It could be gardening. It could be traveling or photography or whatever it is. Just find that one thing apart from your academics that gives you joy and spend time to pursue it. Now, I would like to borrow the words of Kurt Vonnegut. He's a very famous American writer. So some of the school children in America had written a letter to this writer called Kurt Vonnegut, and he had replied. The school children wanted him to come and visit their school. Unfortunately, he was not able to go to their school, and he instead wrote them a piece of advice. Okay, so he talks about, he wrote a letter about the value of art. He asked all those students, he wrote all those students to pursue some form of art. It could be any form of art, but pursue some form of art apart from their academics. It is not for money, it is not for fame, but it is for the sense of becoming. So I'm just borrowing his words. Now, when you pursue some form of art, or it could be some form of passion or hobby, whatever it is, it gives you a sense of becoming. You realize more about yourself. Now, that is a journey that is worth taking. You know more about yourself, you kind of try to look into your inner soul. Now, that's why I'm telling repeatedly, I do tell to all my students to pursue some form of, hobby. Now, take that up seriously. Now, I know like many of you may not have time among your assignments, projects, exams, and so on. But still, if you really wish to do something, I'm pretty sure you can find time. It could be just 15 minutes a day, or it could be just few hours on a weekend. But try to manage time, try to find time and do something that can, give you a sense of accomplishment, like how I found about my painting, or how I kind of, found a sense of accomplishment with my painting and artistic journey. And like many of you might have wanted to study some form of art during your childhood days, and you may never have gotten an opportunity, but it's never too late. You can still start today, because I started my artistic journey when I was around 28 years old. And when I started it, I didn't know any basic stuff about painting. I didn't know what are the types of canvases, what are the different types of brushes and what are their uses, what are the different kinds and types of paint, what are the different mediums that you can use for painting, and how to do an exhibition, how to build an artistic network. I didn't know any of these things, but I just randomly started, and eventually I started building network with other artists. And of course, you have Google these days, you have phone these days, you have ChatGPT, so you get all these necessary information and data from Google. So you have ample opportunities. So at least start it now. And who knows, that little passion of yours that you start now, it may even, open doors for you that you never imagined. So kindly take it as a request and pursue some form of art. So I don't want to take much of your time. I would like to say a few more words and conclude. So as we celebrate the Kensho Literature Fest, let us try to remember that literature is not just about words. Rather, literature or any form of art, it is about perspectives, it is about emotions, and the power to challenge and transform. It allows us to explore new worlds and question the status quo and find our own voices in the grand narrative of humanity. And I encourage each of you wholeheartedly to engage in all the discussions and all the programs and all the experiences that this particular fest has to offer. Now, with that, I extend my best wishes to all the organizers, to all the student coordinators, to all the participants, and may this Kensho Literature Fest be a very grand success. And thank you, Aloysius, for inviting me. It's really an honor to be back here. Thank you, all of you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Dr. Ashwati, for your insightful words. To mark the honor of this event, we have the pleasure of inviting our very own talented and accomplished individual, Dr. Ashwati Ravindran. Ma'am, we are truly delighted to have you with us here today. May I now request Honorable Rector to present a memento to our chief guest as a token of gratitude. Thank you, Father. It is with great pleasure that I introduce Dr. Sylvia Rego, a distinguished professor from Department of English. Today, we celebrate the release of her latest publication, a testament to her dedication and scholarly excellence. To provide further insights into her work, I invite Mr. Samuel Peters to the stage.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor for me to introduce one of the most brilliant minds to ever grace the portals of our beloved university, Dr. Sylvia Rego. Dr. Rego has been selfless in her passion for teaching for over 30 years at our university. And I don't think I'll be wrong in mentioning that whoever enters the Department of English will always see her engrossed in one book or another. Such is the immense talent and love for reading which Sylvia ma'am has. And personally, it is an immense honor to have been her student and at the same time her colleague. Besides teaching, Dr. Rego is actively involved in the world of literature and translation, and Indian writing happens to be her area of expertise. Her first work in translation, called The Tree Spirit, is an anthology of Konkani folk tales. Her second work was a translation of the 3 plays of Chafra de Costa. The work which we shall be shortly releasing is published under our very own house, St. Aloysius Prakashana, and it also happens to be the 31st book published under this title. The book is called 10 Houses Around the Church, a translation of a Kannada novel by Na D'Souza. Na D'Souza is the author of more than 40 novels, many short stories and plays. He has received the Central Sahitya Academy's Bala Sahitya Puraskar for his children's novel. His works include ecological and socio-cultural concerns. Bamun, Kaithan Gandhi's freedom struggle, etc. are some of his famous works. Some of his works have also been translated to English and others have been adapted into award-winning movies. Coming to the book of the moment, 10 Houses Around the Church, the work brings to light the internal hierarchies of caste and class persistence within the Roman Catholic community. The novel is a poignant exploration of the sea changes that takes place in the lives of 10 families situated around the church. We are incredibly honored to announce that ma'am has also undertaken a project with the Sahitya Academy, Delhi, and her next work is also a translation which predominantly features the folk tales in the Biari language. We are incredibly honored to have her amongst us today, and she deserves all the accolades which comes along with her success. Ladies and gentlemen, would you now join me as I request the dignitaries on stage to do the honors by releasing the book.
Thank you, dignitaries. Kindly be seated. It is with great honor that we have with us today a visionary leader whose dedication to education serves as a lighthouse of inspiration. I now request our Honorable Rector, Reverend Father Melvin Pinto SJ, to address the gathering.
Dear Dr. Ashwathi Ravindran, the chief guest of the day, the other dignitaries on the days, and members of the faculty, the participants of the fest, especially those who have come from other colleges, my dear students. A very good morning to you. I'm very happy to be part of this inauguration of the Kensho 2025 Literary Fest. It's surprising we are all here because of the language English. English is a language that we have got from our colonial rulers, and the colonialists have left behind a language that perhaps in some way unites us. do not have an official national language. Although we call Hindi as a official language, it is not really a national language because people in the south wouldn't accept it as a national language. Then what unites us is perhaps English. Sad to say that, but the English came and united us to speak, had to have one lingua franca where we all speak English. Not a nice thing to happen. Definitely not that we should forget our own mother tongues. We all have a mother tongue. Mine is Konkani, and I'm sure you have your own mother tongue. And I'm glad that there is some kind of interaction between the mother tongue and the language English. That is why perhaps Dr. Sylvia Rego has released a book as a translation from the Kannada language to something that is in English, so that many more can get the beauty, artistic, or rather the literature from other languages into English, so that everyone can benefit from it. And that's what we need to look for. We need to see how a language can unite us, can bring us together. We have also developed our own genre of English, Indian English we call it. But then what is Indian English after all? We have got our own accents. People in Kerala will speak English their style, and those in Karnataka or Bengal will speak it their own inimitable style. So therefore, it all mingles and everything becomes Indian English. And English is the one language which probably, the only language probably which accepts words from every language. Sometime in the Hindu, some years ago, I read it in the Hindu that it is perfectly acceptable to say, it is barishing outside, I need to take a chhatri. You're surprised, all these words are included. Barish is included in the English dictionary, and so is chhatri. And so there are so many words, even while you speak, a word like jungle, for instance, we use it so much in English, but it has come from Hindi, or chutney, or dosa, or whatever, especially those words from the Indian cuisine have found its place in English. And so you go on and on, there will be so much to speak about. I'm not going into that matter, but it is saying that, a language gets enriched by whatever it receives. The more it receives, the more it gets enriched. And there are so many vocabulary words. Basically, what is important is that we communicate with one another, and that communication brings about love and understanding. And if there cannot be love and understanding among us, it's pointless. We require a language to communicate a love and concern and compassion for one another. So friends, you have chosen to study in a language, do your best in it. Become great literary figures, write a lot, read a lot basically. I'm glad Dr. Ashwati was saying how she spent time in the library as a second home. It's like that. The more you read, the more you'll feel that you need to express yourself. That expression can come in the form of art, as she has done. Although she discovered it late, you see the beautiful paintings, and I was really taken up by the paintings, Ashwati, and really liked it. I went on to tell her that we are planning to have a art gallery in our museum, and I would like to have her painting also there. As an alumna, to give a painting there would be a matter of honor for us to receive something like that, Ashwati. I make you promise that on this day. And so it goes, you express yourself in a form of art that also brings out the best in you. Today is a day where you come for a fest, you will definitely have competitions, but let not this word competition, take you too far beyond what it really is. Competition finally should bring about a kind of a collaboration, a cooperation, a sense of appreciation for whatever is good. Somebody has performed better than you have, feel good about it. Smile, laugh, and say, wow, what a presentation. Someone has performed better than I did. It is not that I should get the prize. Good if you get it, but if you don't get it, well, you feel happy that you had a chance to witness something more beautiful, something for you to set your standards to a higher level. And when each time you do that, the best comes out of you. And that is the part of a literary fest, where we come together, we share each other's talents, we display each other's talents, and there we learn from each other and try to better ourselves and become better human beings. If you can decide today, I want to be a better human being because of a participation in Ken's show, which means I'm told, here again we have chosen a word from a Japanese language. We have brought that to look within. Probably a word Kensho tells a lot more. To look within. When you look within, you also display it outside. If that can happen, and if you can say, I would like to go back from this fest as a better human person, there is nothing like it. Please do that. Go back home today as better human persons. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for that insightful address and sharing your vision with us today. Gratitude is the melody that harmonizes our hearts, acknowledging the kindness and support that grace our lives. Now, I invite Ms. Radhya, the student coordinator of Kensho, to deliver her heartfelt vote of thanks.
Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Good morning, everyone. As we conclude this memorable inauguration of the Kensho Literature Festival, we stand on the brink of an extraordinary carnivalesque journey, one that promises to celebrate creativity, challenge perspectives, and ignite imaginations. Before we immerse ourselves in the hours ahead, it's my profound honor to express our heartfelt gratitude to all those who have made this symbolic inauguration possible. A special note of appreciation to our respected rector, Reverend Father Melvin G. Pinto S.J. Your guidance in nurturing academic excellence and holistic development has been invaluable. We are deeply grateful for your support. Thank you, Father. I thank the Registrar of the Autonomous College, Dr. Alvin Disa, and the Registrar of the Deemed to be University, Dr. Ronald Nazareth. Your unwavering dedication to academic and administrative excellence ensures that such celebrations of literature are executed seamlessly. Thank you for your invaluable contributions. A heartfelt thank you to our most illustrious guest of honor, Dr. Ashwati Ravindran. Your presence and insights have truly enriched this occasion. We are deeply grateful for your invaluable contributions. Thank you, ma'am. A special note of appreciation to Dr. Sylvia Rigo for allowing us to be part of the momentous launch of your book, an achievement that will undoubtedly leave a lasting mark on the literary world. Thank you for inspiring us with your words and wisdom. A sincere thank you to our head of the department, Dr. Melissa Govius, a pillar of literary scholarship and inspiration. Your commitment to shaping young minds and fostering intellectual curiosity is truly commendable. Thank you, ma'am. To the director of the admin block, Dr. Charles Furtado, your steadfast support behind the scenes have been instrumental in orchestrating this event. We appreciate your contributions in making this festival a success. Thank you, sir. A warm expression of gratitude to our esteemed faculty members, the mentors who cultivate creativity, critical thinking, and scholarly pursuits. Your encouragement and guidance continue to shape the literary minds of today and tomorrow. A heartfelt thank you to our dedicated staff coordinators, student coordinators, dynamic event heads, and our dedicated volunteers. Your passion, meticulous planning, and tireless efforts have turned this vision into reality. I also thank Godwin sir for providing the necessary materials for the event's smooth running, and to Shravik and team for ensuring everything runs accordingly.